Big Al's Rant with Cayden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.
And welcome, everybody, to another rant with Cayden McFarland. Al Jerkins with you, and glad you could be with us. We are at halftime. Seattle winning handily over Carolina, kicking a couple of field goals, getting some touchdowns, and Wilson looks like the real Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they were awful last week. They look like world beaters this week, and Carolina still stinks. All right, go ahead. Bowl
Baker
games.
Mayfield looked like the real Baker Mayfield, and Mason Rudolph didn't look like the real Mason Rudolph yesterday.
Sure.
And we will get to that because I know we have the.
Let's show the bowl matchups to you.
The bowl matchups. This is what the committee thought.
OU in the Sugar Bowl taking on Auburn. As we remember, they beat that other team from Alabama, the Crimson Tide, 3 years ago in the Sugar Bowl.
How many people in the state of Alabama would have the guts to say that other team?
That other team. Nobody. Oklahoma State in the Alamo Bowl taking on number 10 Colorado. Thank goodness it's not USC. And Tulsa in the Miami Beach Bowl. Probably not as good as it sounds, taking on Central Michigan.
Hey,
Miami's a great destination.
You're going to Miami, you get to eat at Stone Crab Joe's.
Exactly.
You get on the beach, South Beach, the whole 9 yards. It'll be just fine.
Miami around Christmas, nothing wrong with that.
Central Michigan now.
All right, so
they
you're
start practice tomorrow. So how many? You think they're going to have the Hail Mary? How many times do you think they'll practice Hail Mary?
Good question. You do need to practice it. Here it is right here. Central Michigan beating Oklahoma State on the Hail Mary that never should have been. I cannot believe that these guys won in Stillwater and then went on to win exactly 3 games in the MAC.
I couldn't believe they were bowl eligible. I couldn't believe they were bowl eligible.
6-6.
But anyway, they're going.
Okay, so your thoughts when you saw the matchups, you were a little underwhelmed?
Yes, I was underwhelmed, but hey, the destinations are just fine because the Sugar Bowl, San Antonio, and Miami,
really good.
You can't beat that. And that's half the thing about bowls,
yeah.
Right? People go for a semi-vacation, go to the game as a sideline, and then go back to South Beach and have fun.
If you were going to handicap these things, OU a favorite, big favorite over Auburn?
8.5.
About a touchdown? Okay, right there. Oklahoma State, Colorado. Colorado just got good like yesterday. They had a great year, but I still find it hard to believe that they would be some sort of overwhelming favorite against Oklahoma State. Slight favorite?
I'm going to guess 2.5.
Okay, I think that's probably fair. Tulsa, Central Michigan,
Tulsa
TU
will
big.
Be a 13-point favorite.
Yeah. This is a Todd Graham special, I've called it. Go into one of these bowl games against a team that's overmatched.
He did that against
blow
Bowling
them out.
Green,
He did it back-to-back years. Blow them out, get your 10th win.
And act like
you can talk about how you dominated.
How you're an offensive machine.
Inferior
That's how he
opponent.
got the Pittsburgh job, saying he was an offensive genius. Which he's coached defense
defensive
for years.
coach.
All right. We want to introduce Aaron, who will be manning the Facebook and the.
That's right.
What else we got?
Well, we've got the Facebook.
We got the Facebook.
The reason I ask every week is because I don't know if there's something new that's on the horizon. You never know.
Our web guru, our digital media manager, loves hearing you call it the Facebook.
And in his defense, that's what it was first called when it first started, was the Facebook.
That's right.
So
that's true.
It's Facebook.
Without the.
Without the. It did start out with the.
I'm glad we could clear that up.
Again, the only reason I ask is because I don't know if something just new came up. No,
Exactly.
absolutely. Look how long it took me to get used to Skype. And
Took
I finally
a while.
get used to it now.
And now we're on to other things.
Yeah, and now we're doing stuff.
We don't even think about that.
So we're taking your questions. We're live on Facebook Live. We love you, Facebook Live people.
All right.
Give us your comments. Talk about Bedlam. Give us your
Let
questions.
me get this out of the way, though. Thank goodness Clemson and Washington won. Because as it turned out, we would have had 3 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, so the Final Four, Alabama taking on Washington as the 4 seed, and then Clemson taking on Ohio State in the 2 and 3 game. And you're right, we would have had
Michigan and Penn State.
Michigan, Penn State. It would have been a Big Ten bonanza. I'm glad this is how it worked out, right? Yeah. I mean, I know the Big Ten had a great year, did what it was supposed to do in the non-conference, but I like more conferences being involved because 12 games with 128 teams across the country, it's not enough. We can't say definitively the Big Ten was that much better than everybody else, therefore they deserve to get 2 in. Give me the conference champ from the Pac-12 and also from the ACC.
But not even the kingpin of the Big 12 got even close.
No, not even in the discussion. OU not even in the discussion.
All right, let's get to Bedlam yesterday, and let's talk about it. And listen, I don't mean to take anything away from OU's performance. I thought their game plan was excellent. I was talking about how I thought OSU's game plan all season long had been great.
Sure.
I thought it was horrendous yesterday.
Okay, so you thought the game plan was horrendous because they didn't take enough deep shots?
Yeah. Have we not discussed for how many weeks how porous the OU defensive backfield is?
It's the worst I've ever seen.
And they didn't throw deep.
Only
Made no sense.
Only 3 times he completed 2 of them. I couldn't agree more. Obviously, he was not throwing the ball very well in the rain, so I understand, Gundy mentioned that, said he didn't like the way the ball was rotating. But the fact that he completed 2 of 3 deep ones tells me just attack him.
Well, 2 years ago it was raining, he didn't have any trouble.
They played into OU's hands. They played exactly the way OU would have wanted them to play, which is trying to beat OU with the run over and over. And then also, fourth quarter when you're down 11 and you go to kick the field goal, which is no sure thing in the rain, OU wants you to kick the field goal there instead of going for it.
First of all, OSU had unbelievable field position in the first quarter and couldn't get anything but a field goal. In fact, they fumble the ball. They fumble a snap at the 2. And the running game was working to a certain degree in the first quarter, and they still didn't throw the football.
Yeah.
You would have thought that their running game would have opened up the passing game a little bit more, and they abandoned it for the most part. Yep. And then I didn't understand it.
And I thought this was going to be the biggest play of the game when D.D. Westbrook got
So OSU comes down,
basically
gets 2 touchdowns, takes the lead.
17-10.
But then OU managed to turn around that momentum immediately by scoring a touchdown before the half was over.
Those touchdowns right before the half are always huge. And then touchdowns to start the half are also huge. And they got both and took control of this ball game. Baker Mayfield did it on that drive before the half, and then Pirine with the 66-yarder. And then he scored again from the Wildcat. OU really did as it pleased after it went down 17-10. I was impressed with the resolve, and I was really impressed with Baker Mayfield. They finished this game without Pirine or Westbrook on the field, and ended up dominating OSU for the final, 32 minutes of this ball game.
I'm trying to figure out the Pirine thing because he goes off and he acts like he's going to be out for the game, and then 15 minutes later he comes back out of the locker room and finishes the game. And he's done this a couple of times. I'm just curious, is he get these stingers and then all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I thought it was going to be like, remember 2 years ago in Bedlam when he got hurt and fumbled on the same play, and that was the start of the OSU comeback? Thought maybe that would happen. Did not happen.
All right, so is Pirine and Mixon both gone?
No doubt. No doubt. Pirine, without a doubt, for sure. You could tell from the way he was embracing Cale Gundy and some others after the game. It just had the look of a guy who was playing his final game on Owen Field and knew it. Mixon, I'm guessing a little bit there, but to me, he's a first-round talent. Don't know if he'll go quite that high because running backs aren't often valued that highly, but he'll be first or second round. And when you're a running back, you don't play around with the potential of hurting yourself next year, blowing up a knee, something like that. I think they're both gone.
Anything?
Yeah, so we've got Tyreek Bell. He's made a couple of comments. One of the things he says, I think OU and OSU should leave the Little 12 and go to the SEC because the Little 12 is not that competitive. And we were talking earlier about how the Big 12 was 5th or 6th as far as conferences were concerned.
A year like this will certainly make that seem like there's more urgency to do that, I think, among the fan base. For years now, there have been whispers and people who are on one side of the fence or the other. But a year like this, when you're not even close, hey, we win our conference and we're not even close, there are a lot of OU fans who are going to say, come on, let's just move on. Let's go to some other league where if we do win it, we're in.
OU loses to Houston and Ohio State.
Yeah,
so what makes you think they would succeed in another conference?
No, that's a good point. And all they had to do was win one of those, and they are in, I think. In my opinion, they're certainly in ahead of Washington if they just beat Houston or Ohio State, who they had on their home field. Bob Stoops made no excuses today and sounded happy as a lark to be in the Sugar Bowl. And, it helps that he was in the college football playoff a year ago. But he knew they had to win at least one of those games early in the year. You don't win either one, you don't deserve to be in the playoff. That's it. That's all.
All right, so where does Oklahoma go from here? They play Auburn.
Yeah.
They have a chance to win, another
Sugar
semi-major.
Bowl. Sure. Can't call it BCS anymore, but one of those, what we used to call BCS, major bowls.
Okay,
New Year's Day bowls, they used to be called.
Did we have anything occur today to make us think that we need an 8-team playoff system?
Well, you know, I'm hearing more and more of that. Here's why I would be okay with it at this point. As you know, before we went to a playoff, I was actually anti-playoff, just for the novelty of it. I like the fact that there was one sport in America that we cared about where things were decided differently. I like the uniqueness of it. You know, there's this one sport where the regular season matters more than anything else, and we pick it at the end. And granted, that's not really fair. But when you got 128 teams playing 12-game schedules, it's impossible to be fair. We don't know for sure that we got the right 4 teams, right? And as they do it, there's always this mix between resume and eye test and all these other factors. We just don't know for sure. Penn State has a real legitimate beef. They won the Big Ten, which everybody says is the best league in the country this year. They're on the outside looking in. But because now all anybody cares about are these 4 teams, this college football playoff, and going to the Sugar Bowl doesn't feel like a big deal anymore, going to the Fiesta Bowl doesn't feel like a big deal anymore, I say go ahead and expand the playoff. If that's what it's going to be, all we care about is the playoffs, then yeah, let's make the playoffs a little bit bigger. I'm troubled by the fact that these bowl games that I loved so much when I was a kid are really just thought of, they're afterthoughts now.
You know what, though? I'm still going to watch the Rose Bowl because it's USC and
The
Penn
Rose
State.
still is a little more special, but you got to admit the Sugar Bowl isn't what it used to be. This OU-Auburn matchup, it's good. It's not great. It's not what the Sugar Bowl traditionally was. And none of them are. You got Central Michigan in the big game in the Cotton Bowl taking on Wisconsin.
Central Michigan.
No, I'm sorry, Western Michigan.
Okay, Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. P.J. Fleck and Western Michigan.
Now, what did the coach say? He had
much different years those two had.
The coach said he was doing the Eli Whitney thing. He had a piece of
he had some cotton in his pocket.
Eli Whitney, by the way, invented the cotton gin.
Yes, that's right.
Anything else, Mr. Aaron?
We've been all over the place. The Facebook, Eli Whitney, and the cotton gin.
Who would have ever thought that we'd talk about the cotton gin in this show? And Eli Whitney.
We got Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
We got Baker Mayfield coming back.
Yes, we do. So let's hear what he had to say about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, this from yesterday.
Yes, and it came out of the clear blue.
Yeah. Coming back, be here for another year, for opportunity for a three-peat, and ultimate goal is why I came here to win a national title. Coming back, dreamed of playing at this place for too long. Fought for that extra year eligibility for too long. Had everybody working on that. It's not a feeling that I owe anybody that put the effort in. It's just that we all did that for a certain reason, and I always dreamed of playing here. And another season under Coach Stoops will be another dream come true, and a great opportunity for us to win another national title.
He will have to do it without Pirine and Mixon likely in the backfield. Although I have heard a few, Dusty Dvorak said that he thinks there's a chance that Mixon has been told to come back for another year.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So
like his draft grade isn't quite high enough, or they want to see? Okay.
But they want to see more of the grow up.
Okay. Yeah. Understandable,
in the grow up
suppose.
department.
Do you think he can win the Heisman next year without those guys? Assuming that Westbrook obviously gone, Pirine probably gone.
You know, it's a shame he can't win the Heisman this year.
Yeah. His numbers are right there, and if they'd beaten Houston or Ohio State, I think they'd be in the playoff and he'd win the Heisman.
Yesterday was so funny, though. He was wearing this pin.
Right.
And it was kind of like a vote for me pin.
Yeah,
you know?
I like Ike pin.
Yeah, it was Heisman candidates, Mayfield and Westbrook. When he went to the podium, he crossed out Westbrook. And if we could get rid of that lower third there for a second, maybe we can. Well, you can't. Okay,
still a little too low, but you see the pin.
You see the pin. Well, anyway, he crossed out his own name and had Westbrook there, and so he was asked, why did you cross out your name? And he said, well, I think Westbrook is the best player in the country. And then he was asked.
You asked him.
Well, I asked him, so does this mean you're taking yourself out of the Heisman race? He said, no, I didn't say that. I still want to go to New York.
Still want to trip to New York.
Hand.
Yeah, I think he knows he's probably not winning. I guess it'll probably go to that Louisville kid. My vote would have been Clemson's Deshaun Watson. But Baker not far behind, because what he did yesterday and what he's done in rallying this team. He gave the Tim Tebow speech after they lost to Ohio State.
He did.
And said, I'm going to work like crazy, harder than anybody Stoops has ever seen, and we're going to win the Big 12, and they won the Big 12.
All right, so what are OSU fans thinking right now? Are they thinking that their team played too conservative?
I think so.
Is that going to be a subject of conversation on our radio show tomorrow?
Well, that's a good question. I've heard, not from all OSU fans, but from a number of them, hey, I love Mike Gundy. I hope he never leaves. I think he's done a fantastic job. In the Bedlam game, I don't think he coaches very well. I think Stoops is in his head, and I think he coaches way too conservatively. I wish we had Les Miles back for the Bedlam game. I've heard that from a few people, because Les was all about taking it to the Sooners, not having too much respect for him, and I think people think maybe Gundy has a little too much respect for that team down south. He was too conservative yesterday. I'm not sure that I buy that line of thinking for his entire tenure, but yesterday he had a chance to win that ball game in Norman, and I think he was too conservative.
All right, we need to get back to this game. I think we're going to have a few fans a little bit mad at us because Lockett just ran a pass back for a touchdown.
Ooh, how about
They'll
that?
show it 12 times.
That's why God invented the highlight.
Right.
You can find that thing on
You'll
YouTube
have it
or
tonight,
ESPN,
right?
and I'm going to have it tonight.
have it
Absolutely,
tonight.
you can watch Tyler
All right,
Lockett.
real quick,
real quick. JD Acosta wants to know how long you think Philip Montgomery's going to stay at Tulsa. He's been rumored for a couple of jobs out there.
I think he'll stay another year.
I do too. I think that the Houston job would have been a great fit, but you see some of the guys that are interviewing,
Right.
including Lane Kiffin, I believe today interviewed for that job. Lincoln Riley's been rumored as they've got some big hitters.
And I don't see any other job that would be attractive to Montgomery,
Yeah.
unless Arizona State or something like that
Sure.
opens up. But I don't see
Yeah,
that.
I think he's a heck of a coach now. And in fact, we've got sound. Now that we've missed the Lockett touchdown, we might as well, right?
Yeah,
Philip Montgomery today reacting to the Miami Beach Bowl. I asked, this is not a game with a whole lot of history, but the word Miami, that's fun,
Miami
right?
Beach
I would imagine the
Bowl.
kids, the Miami Beach Bowl.
Yeah, I think we got a chance to play in a real historic type bowl last year, and our kids really enjoyed that part of it. I think from a destination standpoint, when you throw the word Miami out there around Christmas, I think our guys will be excited and be fired up about that part of it.
Yeah, so
We're all going to go in the ocean.
Didn't know quite where you were going with that. Tulsa, Central Michigan. Central Michigan, not great.
Well, that too.
Miami, Florida, that is great.
Yep.
This time of year.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hey, Miami's a good town.
And
A
go
lot
get
of people
that 10th
don't like
win.
Miami. I don't know why. Every city has its downfalls, but Miami's. What are you kidding me?
I mean, it's hot, but that's a
It's
fantastic
beautiful.
city. Yeah, and this time
we
of
were there
year.
for the Thunder. It was
We were,
okay.
and we
It
were
was
there
all right.
last year for the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
It's a great town.
All right, Aaron. Anything else? Do I need to
That's
check
it,
in?
guys. I think that's a wrap.
All right, that wraps it up. And Seattle is kicking off. We'll see you this Thursday. We have a game this Thursday?
We do.
We do. Thursday then.
Big Al's Rant with Cayden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.